For me, the book was about how Betty finds hope and beauty despite all the darkness that faces her.
Yeah, it was. I really wanted to see her as someone who was, coming into her own, embracing her identity. And I think that those moments of, where she has those bullies, and I remember those sessions with mom where, she was talking about how she was called racial slurs. And I have fair skin, so I haven't experienced that racism that she experienced. And, I saw some of it when I was a little girl. I'd be out walking with my mom, and strangers would come up to her and they say, where are you from? You're not from around here. Are you from Mexico? Are you black? And so I saw those things that she was facing, which was kind of paler in comparison with the much more vicious experiences she had growing up. And, I wanted to take those uglier moments of those life and show that they are survivable, and that, there are beautiful moments in life, and that balances that out. And I often go back to Alka and her experiences. Alka is someone we see in the book who is often associated with storms. And so, just like a storm has thunder and lightning and it's a lot of chaos, the storm clouds eventually clear. And we see that with these women and their stories. We see that the storm does clear, that there is light at the end, that these things that they can survive. And so, when I was looking at Betty, I really wanted to kind of mirror the beauty of my mother's life, and sort of see how she's grown into the woman she has, which, she's an intelligent, creative, strong woman. And I really wanted to see Betty as a young girl on that journey to where she ultimately becomes.
I also wanted to know if Betty pours herself out in writing and it becomes an escape for her, whether that kind of mirrored you and the way that you experience writing.
It is a little bit, yeah. I mean, my mom is a poet herself, and the poem that starts the book out was one that she had wrote for the book. And so storytelling was always in my house. And I think from a very early age, just having been exposed to her and the stories that she told, and the stories of Papa Landon, that it kind of became a natural way that I approached it as well. And I think storytelling is something that can help us out in so many ways in our life. And I think about in the book how when Betty is told these secrets, she takes them, she writes them down, and she kind of buries them into the earth. And that had kind of come about when I was listening to mom in these sessions, and she was talking about having all these secrets. And I really saw her as someone who was kind of digging into her own skin and kind of burying these secrets within her and kind of burying them within her soul. And so I really wanted to kind of see the actual act of this, and see her actually digging into the earth and doing this. And I think, having a character in Betty who is also a writer and a storyteller, it definitely reflects aspects of me. And it certainly is kind of almost a mirror that I can hold up as well. And, I saw the typewriter that Papa Landon had given her. And so words and story and writing, it's always been a part of my life. And I think especially with this story, I see myself in Betty and in that character of a writer in so many different ways.
What is it that you want people to take away from this book?
Well, I want people to kind of, again, know that tragedies might happen, and darker things might happen to us, but it's all survivable. And I think that, I also want to show that, for those people who might be experiencing similar things, that, they can be inspired to talk about these things as well. And I think what the recent movements have really done is it's given a bigger platform for people to feel as if they can stand up and talk about these things without being judged in a way that, historically victims of this type of abuse have been judged. And so that's one element of the story, is that I hope that it inspires those people who are kind of dealing with similar things. And for those who are like Betty, I hope that it inspires those people to, embrace their own voice, embrace their culture, know that every culture culture, and gender is beautiful and important and matters. And I really hope it becomes a book that mothers want to share with their daughters, and sisters want to share with their sisters, and men with the women in their life. And I hope that they find value in these stories, that they see themselves in these characters, and they also see the complexities of what it means to be a mother or a wife or a girl or a woman, and kind of understand that for this family, also going back to that family love, there were relationships in the book that were not made out of love, but we see the father and the daughter relationship, we see the mother and the daughter relationship, and of course the relationship of the sisters. And so I hope that those are the things that readers come away from this book feeling, is the love of this family, but also understanding that it also is a love of oneself, and kind of being our own champions and celebrating our lives and kind of rising to the occasion of it.
So I do have to say, this is one of the most powerful books that I've read all year. And I'm very curious to find out if you are working on anything new.
I am, yeah. So I have close to 20 novels written so far. I'm currently writing 3 new ones, but my next book that will be published, that's on contract, is on the Savage Side. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Chillicothe 6 case, but a few years ago, women had started to disappear in Chillicothe, Ohio, and a few of their bodies have been found. There's some who have never been found, and the case remains unsolved to this day. And it was a case that really felt as though people were kind of forgetting about it, or forgetting about the women. They were also prostitutes and drug addicts, and it felt as though people were kind of blaming them as if, well, it's kind of a risk of the profession. And I really wanted to write a book that said, well, hold on a minute, these women mattered. They were mothers, and they were daughters, and they were sisters, and what happened to them was important. And so that book kind of explores the issue of crime and women, and also the drug epidemic that is kind of raging here across the country, but especially in Southern Ohio. And so that will sort of be the next book published. But I'm constantly writing, so working on 3 new ones, which is always exciting to sort of enter new worlds.
Tiffany, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. As I said, this was one of my books of the year. I was just completely enamored by it. It was absolutely stunning. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, well, thank you. I feel undeserving of that praise, but it makes me really happy, so thank you.